Good morning, and welcome to this finally Friday, May 9th edition of Tonto-TV News, brought to you by Lowry's Window and Door, serving happy, satisfied customers here for over 30 years. For Tonto-TV and K-Rim Radio, I'm Randy Roberson. Well, topping our news this morning, Gila County Sheriff's deputies responded to another critically difficult yet successful call yesterday. Yesterday afternoon, shortly before 1:30, deputies responded to a 911 call regarding a suicidal subject that had reportedly taken pills. When deputies arrived on the scene, they were advised that the subject had barricaded herself in the residence and was armed with a shotgun. While the Gila County Sheriff's Office negotiators were attempting to talk the subject out of the residence, the subject exited the residence, first with a pellet gun, and then later returned and pointed a shotgun at the deputies and fired once, hitting 3 deputies with birdshot pellets. One of the deputies did return fire with 1 round, which did not hit the subject. She dropped the shotgun and ran back into the residence for a second shotgun. Well, the good news is deputies were able to take her into custody prior to her shooting the second shotgun. The only injuries sustained were the minor ones by the 3 deputies. A 34-year-old female of Tonto Basin was booked into the Gila County Jail. The Payson Police Department is conducting the officer-involved shooting investigation. Sheriff Shepard said, quote, "I'm grateful given these circumstances that our deputies are going home tonight and the citizen was not injured. These situations are becoming all too familiar for law enforcement and the dangers my deputies face during their shifts." He went on to say the safety of our communities and staff is our number 1 priority, and today they showed great restraint and courage. Sheriff Shepard also wanted to acknowledge the assistance of the Payson Police Department and the Tonto Basin Fire Department. And in other local law enforcement news, this past Wednesday, Gila County detention staff escorted inmates from the Gila County Jail to clean between mile markers 256 and 257 on State Route 188 for the Adopt a Highway section sponsored by the Sheriff's Office. Well, thanks to the sheriff and his detention staff and the inmates who volunteered for the project, they removed 5 large bags of trash along the mile-long stretch of highway. Well, coming up in other news, a bill was signed into law this week that makes things safer for our kids in the local schools. A complete report coming up next.
I'm Garrett Goldman, and this year my wife and I decided to remodel our home. The home was built as a period-specific home modeled after an 1800s farmhouse and had single-pane windows which were very inefficient. When we started the planning process, we interviewed several window companies to retrofit the existing windows in our house, and we chose Lowry's Window and Door as our contractor. The reason we picked Lowry's is their customer service. The owner of the company, Bobby Lowry, came out to our house multiple times to identify a window that would fit within the existing windows, and then also a method that would allow us to keep all of the existing woodwork in the house and not have to redo any of it. Looking at all of the options for windows, we chose Pella double-pane windows for our house because of their look and also their ability to be retrofitted into the existing window frames. Since completion of the project, we absolutely love our new dual-pane Pella windows. I would recommend Lowry's for anybody looking to retrofit your existing windows or a new build because of their experience, craftsmanship, and exceptional customer service.
Welcome back. Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs signed a bill into law on Tuesday that enhances the state's school safety program through the Department of Education. The new law permits the use of grant funds for various safety measures, including the installation of door locks, safety training, and the hiring of retired law enforcement officers as school resource officers. Tom Horn, the superintendent of public instruction, called the legislation the most significant school safety measure since 2007. He went on to say they're perfectly capable of doing that job. Horn went on to emphasize the importance of addressing the shortage of both teachers and police officers. He described the law allowing schools to employ retired law enforcement as a matter of common sense, saying, quote, The added training and technology will increase the value of this successful program that makes our students, educators, and staff safer on campus. Well, taking a look now at Central Arizona weather, an area of high pressure is expected to bring above normal temperatures and mostly dry conditions across the region through the weekend. However, there is a slight chance of high elevation showers on Saturday. Looking ahead, a larger storm system is forecast to move in next week, bringing cooler temperatures and gustier winds, particularly in the higher elevations near the Mogollon Rim. Daytime highs today in our region should look like this. Under sunny skies, Payson should warm up to a high near 83. A little toastier down in Globe, where they're expecting a high around 89. And even a tad warmer down here in Tonto Basin, where today's high is forecast to heat up to 94 degrees. And those temperatures are expected to stay about the same through the weekend. However, you can expect about a 10-degree drop in daytime highs by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Well, sunrise this morning was at 5:32, and it will set this evening at 7:17. And that's your Central Arizona news for this finally Friday, May 9th, brought to you by Lowry's Window and Door. For Tonto-TV and KRIM Radio, I'm Randy Roberson. Make it a great weekend.